collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Galaxy Version Episode 4 from Blokees. Still not 100% sure how to pronounce that, but I love these little figures. They're these Transformer 4-inch, 10-centimeter tall figures, and really fun, really articulated, and I love the little style these have. I've done videos for the other 3 waves. If you want to check them out, I'll put links at the end of the video. But on this side, we have for the Autobots Ultra Magnus, we have Snarl in both Robot Mode and Dino Mode. And then we have Smokescreen. And then for the Decepticons, we have Shockwave, our last 2 Constructicons with Hook and Scrapper. Yet another Optimus repaint, this time as Nemesis Prime. I guess there's going to be one in every wave. I guess I get it. But then the big surprise here was Tarn. Did not expect Tarn to be here. Don't really know what they're going to repaint him or reuse him as in future waves, but I guess we'll wait and find out. But yeah, this is the first time that I think the Autobots and Decepticons are equally balanced. Usually it's very Autobot heavy, so nice to see getting some more Decepticons in these waves. But yeah, these are really, really fun. I'll go ahead and open the box here so we can take a look at one of the boxes inside. And there's 9 in this assortment, but if you buy a full case, you're guaranteed to get 1 of every figure. Now, there is a Chase variant for Shockwave, as we can see down here. I have never gotten a Chase variant yet, and I don't expect today to be any different. But we'll take a look at one of these individual boxes. Really nice, you know, very holofoily, if that's a word, which I really like. They look really cool. And then you've got Nemesis Prime over here on this side. Not really much going on the back, but then you get the full lineup here on this side, and you can see the Shockwave variant. Not incredibly different, but you have a 1 in 36 chance. Everyone else is a pretty much 1 in 9 chance, so yeah, very cool. I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and get these built, and we'll take a closer look. So here are the 9 figures out of the packaging, fully assembled, and as predicted, I got the regular version of Shockwave. My track record for no rares across all 4 sets remains intact. Most of these figures are going to have the same articulation and are very similar in build to the figures that we've seen in the previous sets, with the exception of Ultra Magnus and Tarn, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but their build is slightly different. But obviously the most different here is Snarl in Dino Mode. He looks fantastic. I think they did such a good job. I love the little stego head. The mouth can open and close, and if you have, like, I believe there was a second version of Grimlock, the rare for Wave 2 came with like a fire effect piece, but if you have any kind of effect piece that'll fit in there, you can just slide that in to make it look like he's breathing fire or something, but I think that's really fun. Got a ball joint there. Now, some of the pieces are reused from the robot mode. So the tail piece here are 2 pieces sandwiched together, and they will actually be on the back of the robot mode. We'll talk about that in a minute. You can kind of see here that the tail is plugged into the bottom of the torso section. So you actually build the same torso section from the robot mode and plug that in, and then the tail plugs into that. This is like the shoulder piece and the forearm piece of the robot mode, so those are the same. Obviously, they don't have any hands or anything like that. So it is neat how they're able to reuse some of those pieces and make it work. So this is connected onto like what would be the shoulder joint of a robot mode figure. So you have the ball joint there, and then you have the normal elbow joint, so you have the swivel there as well as the bend. You have a ball joint for the foot. This little foot piece is actually on like a knee or elbow joint. So you can see that that kind of can bend out to the side, can also swivel around, and then you have a little ball joint down here for this foot. Technically, I guess the tail can swivel side to side, but I don't know that it's necessarily meant to. It fits in there pretty snug. But it's a really neat build, the way you kind of put all these pieces together, and the spikes look fantastic, and I love the little head. So I think they did a really nice job with Snarl in Dino Mode here. Very happy to add that to my Dino Mode Dinobot collection. Very, very cool. So we're going to put him off to the side, and we'll just kind of quickly go through these guys. Because like I said, a lot of them are similar. The articulation is pretty much all the same. But so we have Smokescreen here. Really like the colors on him. I think he came out great. I don't know. I feel like the legs shouldn't be white. The front of them, I feel like, makes sense to be white, but I feel like the rest of them should be red or blue or something. I don't know. Just that large amount of white is kind of jarring with the rest of the color scheme. But other than that, I think he looks pretty great. Now, we've seen Prowl and Blue Streak previously, so this is the same mold again, just now painted and stickered up to be Smokescreen here. And I have to say, all of these, like, I think they're stickers, but they all come pre-applied or tampoed on. There are no stickers you have to apply in these sets, which is a major appeal for me. I'm going to go ahead and take this guy off the base. So the head's on a ball joint. You can look up a little bit, look down a little bit, certainly side to side. He's actually got these little guns, shoulder cannons, which are also on little ball joints. Shoulder out to the side, ball joint there. You can move all around. You have a swivel right above the elbow. You have a 90-degree elbow bend. The fist is on a tiny little ball joint. And all of these guys come with a set of closed fists and then like a set of open hands. I just put the closed fists on everybody. I just think it makes more sense for holding weapons and things like that. So, but they do come with a set of open hands if you prefer. You have a waist swivel. You have a ball joint here in the hip. Kick out to the side. Kick forward. Kick back. You have a 90-degree knee bend. You also have a swivel directly above the knee. And then a ball joint down here in the ankle. And the build for most of these, like I said, is very, very similar. And I did go through one of the builds. I think in the first set that I did, I built Optimus on camera. So if you're interested in that and seeing how they're built, you can check that video out. I'll put a link at the end. And then he just comes with this little gun. But yeah, they're just fun little figures. I really like the style of them. I love the fact that, you know, all the stickers and design come pre-applied. And they're just fun little 4-inch figures. I just think they're really, really cool. So that is Smokescreen. Next up, we will check out Snarl. I think Snarl looks pretty great. Like I talked about, this is the tailpiece from the Dino mode that you normally would sandwich together. You can see the tabs sticking out here and then the you know, tab holes over on that side. That's kind of a bummer. I wish that those were at least on the back. And I guess technically I could have... I think I could put these on the other way. Actually, I just thought about that. Let me try. The directions tell you to put them on this way. But if I just unpeg the backpack here, they're just kind of popped onto these little pegs. Let me see if I can just do this the other way, if it'll actually work or not. It might not work because they're angled. I mean, they kind of wedge on, not as well. And they would probably be pretty prone to falling off, but I think you could probably do that. We'll try it. If they fall off, I can always... Oh, I see. It's kind of a clearance thing. You can see how it kind of gets in the way of the shoulders. I'll have to put it back. But I kind of wish that they had done it that way, because I feel like it would have been very easy to make it work that way. And I just don't want to see the pegs and the peg holes, you know, visible. But I guess if you're supposed to, you know, pretend that this actually transforms, then it would make sense that, you know, they would go together during the transformation. I don't know. In any case, I wish they had done it so they could go around the other side. Not a big problem. Still looks good. I still like that on the back. I think that looks neat. Head sculpt, I think, looks really nice. The blue eyes look good. Gonna have all the same articulation from here on out, so I'm not really going to go over that every time, but he comes with his sword, of course. But yeah, just overall, really good luck here for Snarl. I think they did a great job with him. He looks fantastic. So now we'll move on to Ultra Magnus. So Ultra Magnus has a little bit of a different build. Not as different as, say, Tarn. But with Tarn and Ultra Magnus, they don't use the shoulder ball joints on the actual torso piece. So if you've seen one of these built, and again, you can check out the first video I did, you get this kind of little torso piece, and then like the armor bits clip on top of it, and then, you know, the core of the torso has its own ball joints. What they did for these two, because they're wider, larger characters, they put the ball joints actually on the armor that clips on. So you clip the armor over top of the normal core piece. So the normal core piece's shoulder ball joints are inside, and you just clip over top, and then that gives you like a wider body, and then it gives you new wider out shoulder ball joints. So that's why they're a little different build. The rest of it is the same. I mean, from the waist down is a normal build. The shoulders are pretty normal. But just that little bit. Because at first when I was doing Tarn was the first one I got out of the box just randomly, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And they give you normal little shoulder extension pieces for the others. So I just put them on because that's what I'm used to. And then I had to like figure out, oh no, I'm not doing that this time. I'm like, wait, why are there 2 sets of ball joints? So just in case you're wondering. But yeah, same articulation. Magnus came out great. I think he looks fantastic. I love the head. I just think that looks so sharp. I love the Autobot symbol there on the shoulder. Really just came out great. I love these missiles on the shoulders. That really came out great. I'm so happy with Magnus. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. Definitely. I mean, honestly, it's hard finding a favorite. This is a pretty solid wave. Tarn's pretty great. Magnus is pretty great. I love finishing off the Constructicons. So this is a pretty difficult wave to pick a favorite. But yeah, Tarn came out really cool as well. I mean, look at all of this detailing on the shins here, on the torso and the waist. The face came out great. He's got the big shoulder pads. All that looks really solid. So he's got this backpack piece here. Now you can take this off and you have a couple of options. I think it just stores here. If you wanted, if you like the look of this, you know, with the 2 guns straight up like that, certainly an option. You can take this off and he can hold this as like a weapon like that. Or you can take the guns off individually and have him hold one of the guns individually. So you have some options with the guns there, which I think is kind of cool. If you don't want him to use them as weapons and you just want it to stay on his back the whole time, that's fine. You don't like the look of it, you could leave it off the back completely if you just like the look of this. Like I said, you can orient it up, you can orient it down, whatever you prefer. So I think that's cool. He's got some options there with the guns. But yeah, he came out great. He's just a huge hulking figure. You know, I mean, if you put him next to, like, Smokescreen here, he's just wider, more built. I think they did such a good job. He really came out great. Usually they make characters that they can do something else with. But, I mean, I guess technically the Constructicons they can't really use. A lot of the pieces are kind of similar. But I have no idea what they're going to try to get out of, like, Magnus, Shockwave, Tarn. I don't really know how they could reuse any of these, so it'll be interesting. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention while we're talking about it, with the previous waves in the boxes, when you would open a box, the inner flap would show 2 characters, and that was kind of a tease of the next wave. The last wave had Magnus and Shockwave. This wave had nothing. There was nothing on the inner flap, so I hope that doesn't mean that these are done. I hope they'll continue, and maybe they just don't have them planned yet. That's fine. But I'm really hoping these continue because I'm having a lot of fun with them. So here we have Shockwave. Comes with a small version of himself that he can wield, which is kind of cool. Nice Decepticon symbols here on the forearms, which look really good. Now, for whatever reason, he also came with like a karate chop hand, and I don't know what that's about. Maybe to like rest on top of this hand, you know, kind of Mega Man style, like while he's firing. I don't know. You also have this cable here. You know, you don't have to plug this in if you don't want to. Technically, you don't even have to put this whole back piece on if you don't want to. It can come off fairly easily. So if you like kind of a more, you know, clean animation look and you don't want the cable, you could take this backpack piece off and you could unplug the cable. It's up to you. But this is kind of more of a toy accurate look. But yeah, overall, I think he looks pretty good. I love the yellow eye. I think that really came out great. Head can still move around. Normal articulation. Now, obviously, the cord is going to hinder the arm slightly, but really not that much. Honestly, you still get a pretty good range of motion, even with that. They gave you a nice length of that cable there, so not really an issue. But yeah, he looks good. Happy to have him. Then we have our third repaint of Prime, 4th Prime overall. So in the first wave, we had Optimus Prime, obviously. The second wave, I think we had the white Ultra Magnus version of Optimus Prime. Then, or maybe that was the Shattered Glass one. I can't remember the order, but there was also a Shattered Glass one, and now we have Nemesis Prime. I will say, he looks good. They did a really nice job. I love the teal and the black and the red and the purple. It all just looks really sharp. I love the sword. He's got these 2 giant, like, wrist-mounted cannons. You can just peg these on pretty simply. Just remove these. They just peg onto the forearm. But yeah, it's a really good-looking Prime repaint. I mean, I can't deny it. They keep doing these and I keep saying I don't want them, and then I get them, and then I'm like, okay, you did a good job. They keep knocking it out of the park. I don't know what else they're going to do, though. I mean, they're kind of exhausting most of the options. I mean, I'm sure they've come up with something, but I don't know if they're kind of committed to doing an Optimus Prime in every wave. I'll be interested to see where they go next, because I feel like they've hit the major players. Only time will tell. But he does look good. I love the sword. I like the gun. I love the color scheme here. I think he looks really sharp. I'm going to put this back on here. Now, let's get into our Constructicons. Very happy to have finished these guys off and have the full set now. Scrapper looks great. I love the look of Scrapper. The head sculpt looks great. All the detail here on the legs and the chest. All that sharp. He's even got the little bucket here on the back. I kind of wish this was a little bit more compact to the body. I mean, I could put it all the way up like that. I don't really like it that high up on his body. I kind of like it to be about like here. You know what I mean? Like that's about where I like it to be. I just wish it was closer to the body. Like I don't know that I even need this piece. I almost kind of wish this just clipped straight onto the back. And I would have been fine with that. But it gives you some options so you can move that around. Little gun looks pretty good. Overall, I like Scrapper. He's always been one of my favorite of the Constructicons. But not to be outdone, here is Hook. I really like the attention to detail here where they have, because he has the like cab of the crane on one leg when he transforms, and so they've replicated that here, which looks pretty cool. And then over here on the back, you can see the other cab up here molded onto the back, and then you have the little crane arm with the crane here, which I think works really well. So yeah, they did a great job with him. I really like him a lot as well. And like I said, very happy to finally finish these guys off. You also get a random Energon Cube with Ultra Magnus, of all people, so I don't really know why. But yeah, fantastic set. Honestly, really happy with all these. Like I said, it's hard to pick a favorite. I think Magnus is up there. I think he just came out fantastic, but Tarn also came out fantastic. Snarl's great. The Constructicons. Sadly, these two are probably my least favorite, but that doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. They still came out looking really sharp, in my opinion. I just, like I said, by now it's my 4th Optimus, so I'm just less excited about that. And now I'm my 3rd time with this mold, and again, I kind of wish the legs weren't white. Even if maybe like this piece was white and then this piece was blue or something, I think that might have been interesting to do them, because they are 2 separate pieces when you snap them together. So it might have made more sense to do this in either red or blue and then just have the front be white, because that's kind of how the car is. Might have been neat. But in any case, still good. Nothing wrong with them. Just, you know, these are older molds, so less exciting than obviously newer molds. But honestly, all really, really good. Before we can wrap up, we got to do some group shots. So here are my 3 Dinobots in their Dino modes. These are the only 3 that have been released so far. I'm still hoping for a Sludge and Swoop in future waves. Sadly, at this point, I think they've done these 2 so well that I kind of think Grimlock is the weakest one, just because like this torso connection here is kind of loose. I do like the head, but it doesn't seem to fit and flow as well as these 2 do, and it probably has something to do with the fact that these have, you know, like thicker bodies that just kind of look a little bit better in proportion, whereas here with Grimlock, they had to kind of do, you know, the same torso and arms from the robot mode, and then just kind of plug this in and plug this in. So just not as successful, but I love seeing these 3 together here. These little dino modes, absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, we also have to do the Dinobots in robot mode. I think these look so good. I'm really happy with how these are turning out. I hope we get the other 2 eventually, but this is great. I love having 3 of the team here all together. This looks really awesome. Next up, we have our fully completed Constructicon team. I'm so happy to finally have all 6 of these. They look absolutely fantastic together. I love the way these came out. Now, recently, Blokees did a larger Optimus Prime, still in this same style, but I think it was either 10 or 12 inches tall. It may have had electronics in it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm kind of hoping they could do something similar for Devastator. That way it would kind of be in scale with these figures. Do like a 12-inch tall Devastator. Exact same style. Have it be assembled exactly the same way. All that. just that way it could be kind of in scale with these guys, maybe be 10, 12 inches. I think that would be really awesome. And then here are all our Optimus Primes. We've had one per wave. The original in Wave 1. I believe the Shattered Glass one was Wave 2, and then the Magnus one was Wave 3, and now we have Nemesis Prime. So like I said, these are kind of the repaints you think of when you think of Optimus Prime. So if they do one for Wave 5, I really don't know what they're going to do. I'll be interested to see what they come up with, because they've kind of done all the heavy hitters at this point. But interesting to see all 4 of them here. 2 Autobots, 2 Decepticons, all Optimus. And then also just for fun, here are 2 versions of Ultra Magnus. Both have their merits, but I'll always prefer his kind of animation look over, you know, having the white Optimus with the trailer armor and all that kind of stuff. So neat to have both of them here, but this is definitely my favorite. So that's going to do it for Block E Galaxy version episode 4. I love these figures. Honestly, I feel like I can't state that enough. I just think they're so fun. The build is fun once you kind of get a rhythm to it, because they're all fairly assembled the same way. You can kind of build them all in no time. They're just fun. Throw something on TV and just snap them together. It's really neat. They look good. I love all the detailing on them. I love the fact that all those stickers are just kind of tampoed on there. You don't have to apply any of them yourself, because honestly that would probably be a nightmare and would not come out nearly as good as they do. They all look great. The articulation's great. I love the little dino modes they're doing for the Dinobots. They're just a ton of fun. I really don't have anything to complain about with these. I just want more of them. I just want them to do more characters. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Hot Rod yet. I feel like he's very obviously missing. There's still a number of G1 characters from like Season 1, mostly Autobots, that they could still do. I think we need Mirage, we need Wheeljack, Trailbreaker, Hoist. That would be an easy one that they could get 2 out of. Sunstreaker's still missing. So I'm hoping we get more. I love these. I like I said, I just can't state enough how fun they are. I love the stylized art version that they went with. I think that was such a fun choice, because YOLO Park started doing something very similar, and I just don't like them as much. I just really like the style they went with these, and like I said, I can't praise them enough. I really have nothing to complain about. Little things maybe I'd tweak, little things just to optimize, but I really love them. Can't recommend them enough. I got them from a site called Joy Toy World. That's the only problem, is I don't know a lot of places that sell them. But if you check, again, it's called Joy Toy World. I think all one word.com, or just Google Joy Toy World. I'm sure you'll find it. But I'm surprised like BBTS and those kinds of sites don't carry these, because I think they have the YOLO Park ones, and I think these are definitely... Now, to be fair, I haven't handled the YOLO Park ones at all, but just on aesthetics alone, I think these are superior. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.